I'm Anne Croker, writing coach. If you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. If you're a regular, welcome back. Today, you've joined hundreds of established and emerging writers who are discovering ways to reach their writing goals and have fun by being more curious, creative, and productive. You're listening to the Anne Croker Writing Coach podcast. This is episode 260. Writers who make you furiously jealous are the best mentors. Just as musicians credit their musical influences, writers too have literary inspirations who help them discover and shape their writing voice. At a White House event for poets in 2011, Billy Collins said to students about finding your voice, "You're searching for the poets who make you jealous. You're looking to get influenced by people who make you furiously jealous. And then copy them." Billy himself was influenced by the work of Wallace Stevens. I suppose he would say he was furiously jealous of him. Author Shauna Niequist openly mentions the influence of Anne Lamott on her work. Well, the first time I read Anne Lamott, I thought, is this allowed? People can write like this and it gets published? I laughed at her sometimes crass and often sarcastic style. She opened the door to a whole new way of writing with honesty and sass. While hers was not exactly my style, I admired the conversational tone, the seemingly stream of consciousness flow of ideas that, upon close examination, were carefully crafted. That skill, to make her work seem like it just spilled onto the page but was actually carefully constructed, that made me furiously jealous. My friend and co-author Charity Singleton Craig has mentioned Annie Dillard's impact on her. She frequently quotes her, and I sense hints of that literary genius in my friend as well as in Dillard. I read Annie Dillard in my early 20s and wondered, what is this? I liked it, but I didn't get it. I didn't understand what she was doing. But I saw that she stitched her work together with precision using the tools of a literary craftsman, and that I admired. That made me furiously jealous. As a child, I read Madeleine L'Engle's A Wrinkle in Time. Whether I voiced it or not, I know I wondered, how did she do that? At that time, I didn't want to write in that style or genre, but she led us to trust, love, and hope through the delight of quirky characters. I was thrilled how intimately she connected with her reader, with me. I was grateful at the time. Now, as an adult who writes, I'm furiously jealous. I want to create bridges of trust, love, and hope as well. One time, Charity and I attended a lecture by Scott Russell Sanders. In my notebook, I scribbled notes. Then I leaned back and listened. Finally, I wrote, "I want to write like that," on the pages of my notebook. I tilted the page toward Charity to show it to her. She nodded. She could see I was furiously jealous. He writes about the Midwest, where I'm from, and so I'm always impressed with how he brings it to life. His work connects with me in those familiar references of trees and rivers and birds. He names them, and I know them. He makes creative choices seem less mysterious than Dillard and more accessible. He's conversational in some ways, but not curmudgeonly like Anne Lamott. So when I read him, I think, hey, maybe I could write like that. He'll tell stories, create scenes, and introduce a theme, a phrase, a word. He'll press in gently, a little bit more, labyrinthine at times, and progressively, sequentially other times. I want to write like that. He's unpretentious. I can tell that the ideas and stories he shares on the page are true. When I met him at that event with Charity, it was clear he is who he seems to be on the page. And that's who I am and want to be too in my writing, in life. Unpretentious. I want to be like that. Scott Russell Sanders is one of my biggest creative influences. When you say about a writer or author, I want to write like that, that's a creative influence. When a writer's work makes you furiously jealous, that's a creative influence. When you think, hey, I could try that, that's a creative influence. Make a list of all the people whose work makes you furiously jealous. Maybe even make a list of the work itself. And then ask, why do I love this piece? How is its sound, topic, and style appealing to me? Why does it speak to me? What could I learn from it? And how could I emulate it without plagiarizing? Study that work. Pick apart that prose. Underline and circle and copy out sentences from that work. Figure out how they did it, because writers who make you furiously jealous are your best mentors. And as you study them, as they mentor you, like Billy said, they'll lead you to your own authentic voice. On August 23rd, 2023 at noon Eastern, I'll be leading a free training called Build Your Writing Lab, Dissect Quality Prose to Learn Techniques used by the Prose. It's very much like what we're talking about in this episode. This free training will empower you with a proven system to become a better writer. I'll be sharing 6 different approaches to do what we just talked about, to dissect text, to discover how to improve your craft by studying others, studying the prose of prose. One of the key ideas in this training is to turn to model texts that inspire us, and we can use that then in our writing lab. So if you decide to join us, it's free. Why not? I hope you do. Start collecting the names of those who make you furiously jealous and some of the samples of their work that make you furiously jealous, and then register if you haven't already. And if you can't make it, there will be a replay. So go to annecroker.com/writing lab to register. And I'm Anne Croker, cheering you on as a writing coach in your ear everywhere we may meet. At my website, here on this podcast, in your inbox, or even in person. I'm always looking for ideas to share with you that will help you achieve your writing goals and have fun by being more curious, creative, and productive. Thank you for being here.